Wow, friends, look at this beautiful garden. We have some blue flowers, red flowers, yellow, white, green. Oh, gardens are hard work, but they are so beautiful. You have some soil, some seeds and water and sunlight, and then who knows what beautiful things you can grow. Come to think of it, our very good friends Frog and Toad made a garden of their own not too long ago. Let's go see what they have in their garden and how that works in Frog and Toad, the garden. Frog was in his garden. Toad came walking by. What a fine garden you have, Frog, he said. Yes, said Frog, it is very nice, but it was hard work. I wish I had a garden, said Toad. Here, here are some flower seeds. Plant them in the ground, said Frog, and soon you will have a garden. How soon? Asked Toad. Quite soon, said Frog. Toad ran home, and he planted the flower seeds. Now, seeds, said Toad, start growing. Toad walked up and down a few times. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head close to the ground and said loudly, Now, seeds, start growing. Toad looked at the ground again. The seeds did not start to grow. Toad put his head very close to the ground and shouted, Now, seeds, start growing. Frog came running up the path. What is all this noise? He asked. My seeds will not grow, said Toad. You are shouting too much, said Frog. These poor seeds are afraid to grow. My seeds are afraid to grow? Asked Toad. Of course, said Frog. Leave them alone for a few days. Let the sun shine on them. Let the rain fall on them. Soon your seeds will start to grow. That night, Toad looked out of his window. Drat, said Toad. My seeds have not started to grow. They must be afraid of the dark. Toad went out to his garden with some candles. I will read the seeds a bedtime story, said Toad. Then they will not be afraid. Toad read a long story to his seeds. All the next day Toad sang songs to his seeds, and all the next day Toad read poems to his seeds, and all the next day Toad played music to his seeds. And Toad looked at the ground. The seeds still did not grow. What shall I do? Cried Toad. These must be the most frightened seeds in the whole wide world. And then Toad felt very tired, and he fell asleep. Toad, Toad, wake up, said Frog. Look at your garden. Toad looked at his garden, and little green plants were coming up out of the garden. At last, shouted Toad, my seeds have stopped being afraid to grow. And now you will have a nice garden too, said Frog. Yes, said Toad, but you were right, Frog. Whew, it was very hard work. Whew. Wow, what a silly story. Well, friends, when we plant seeds in a garden, it takes a long time for them to grow, right? But is shouting at them going to make them grow? No, we don't want to scare the seeds, right? But we can give them love, like Toad was doing. Toad was talking gently to them, and after a while, he was singing some songs, reading some stories. That's okay if we do it quietly, because we don't want to scare them away, right? Friends, if you had a garden, what would you plant in your garden? Would it be flowers? Would you want big tall sunflowers or little tiny pansies? Would you want to plant a tree? Would you want to plant tomatoes or carrots or squash? What would you have in your garden? That sounds pretty cool. I would have a lot of flowers in my garden. And maybe if I could plant an apple tree, I would. I love apples. Well, friends, that's all the time we have for right now. But you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.